WW3 of hex as well in regards to it being on a pulse chain. If you've seen those tweets where they introduce a seal to water for the first time, it's kind of what it is like when you discover pulse chain and discover how quick and easy it is to transact, and also how cheap the fees are. Now, there's a couple ways I can look at it, but what I'll point out is basically it doesn't appear as if the military industrial complex is going to give up much ground around the world. We see the emergence of BRICS. We see almost the counter narrative to Western hegemony. I'm not really sure, but it just appears as if economically it's going to be a battle of currency as opposed to a battle of sheer military might. So if we have a look at, we can skip over that because everyone already knows this already. Basically, some drones have been launched, some drones got shot down. Everyone's on high alert, I would imagine. So let's just jump to the part where, have you ever looked at, well, maybe not World War 1 and 2 because I'm a bit too young to have experience that. I've read about it and understand some things like who financed both sides, etc., etc. But if you look here, it says which stocks do best during a war. Now, pretty sure it's on stream. Yep. In general, defense stocks, companies that produce weapons and armaments, go figure, tend to fare the best during a wartime environment. So to do energy companies, because they may see a boost in conflicts because, maybe the price of oil or commodities may increase slightly. I did read somewhere that basically, with the emergence of these BRICS complex systems or alliances, basically, you're seeing that there is a potential for Western nations, I'm guessing Australia as well, to be priced out of the economy. So imagine you try and sell your stuff and cheaper, better stuff exists out there that most likely you're going to be buying that instead of buying whatever you can make. Now, I think here in Australia, we can see that basically we don't make anything anymore. It's a shame. South Korea, I'm not so sure, but we just have recently seen the emergence of the North Koreans being basically gifted hypersonic technology. So there's an argument out there that maybe they're going to mass produce that, and that's going to suck for the world. I mean, unless you're on North Korean, Russian, and Chinese sides, which they're probably laughing. And who knows, maybe they're the ones that airdrop that to them. But back to the how to make money and things you can actually affect, because it's not like, head of government's going to be listening to streams like this. But say, for instance, you take a step back and what is taking place? Oh, the Bitcoin halving is taking place. And at the moment, usually when events like this take place, you're probably going to see a crash in stocks. Some stocks, maybe, unless they're defense or energy. Maybe they get a small uptick over these events or ongoing events. You see the war in Ukraine and Russia, and everything that's built around, and the support beams being placed everywhere, and the different footings of different countries, armies, basically, military, sorry. Now, as that aside, have a look here. First halving. I can't believe it's like only the fourth halving? It just feels like more than that. The first halving in November 28, 2012, which is actually right. That's crazy, yeah. We saw, the halving take place, and then within 12 months later, some all-time highs relative to that time frame, leading to an 8,858% valuation increase. Second halving, July 9th, 2016, block rewards halved. The price rose from 650 to 2,560. Okay. Third halving, I think you can see where this is going, and everyone already knows this, so again, thank you for tuning in if you're watching this, but just sort of recapping already information that everyone knows probably better than me. Now, third halving, May 11th, 2020. Now, this is an interesting time frame. If you happen to be in a token like X or something like that, the BT price rose from 8,727 to 55,847. So what are we seeing here? Basically, following the halving, we're seeing some massive price increases. However, this time it's slightly different because we've got some, well, there were wars ongoing then, but we have some really wrecked economies, but we've seen wrecked economies before. But this time we've got the Bitcoin ETF and maybe the Ethereum ETF in Hong Kong of all places, low, because, US for some reason and their jurisdiction decide that crypto is evil. I don't know. Now, so leading on from here, I guess more relative to the cryptocurrencies I like, I guess shout out to Moonscraper, because I saw this on Twitter. I thought that's pretty much what I'm trying to like communicate to everyone. BTC's last halvening, since then the Hex all-time highs was about 496 days later. Let's say post-chain and Hex reached the all-time highs, roughly 496 days after the upcoming Bitcoin halvening, the fourth one. So it's only only 4 halvings. That would bring us to August 2025, 28th, about that time, which is a funny date. And what's it called? I think it's familiar. I don't know why. It's very familiar. But yeah, so I think in times of war, you've probably heard physical metals, defense stocks, ammunition, guns, food, things to go as far as water filtration tablets, as far as what are the pills you take to keep radiation out of your thyroid if you think that's going to come to the area where you are living. Maybe if you're actually living in the Middle East and places like Ukraine and shit like that, maybe it might be more relevant, or they're not, I don't know. But one of the things that happens to be, maybe not a bad buy could potentially be cryptocurrencies. Now, there's no guarantees of that. And what is it? Past performance is no indication of future performance. And in saying that, I personally think a new all-time high on Pulse, PulseX, INC, and Hex would be in the cards, I would say, moving forward. But that's just me. I'll close out here because that's all I have. Thank you, David. Hit the like button, everyone. Maybe you do, I don't know. Or maybe you just like keep this information to yourself and don't tell anyone because no one will believe you anyway. Alright, free speech signing out. Thanks, everyone.